pruning, and we've got our cutting that we started last year that also needs pruning. So that's what we're going to be working on today. So this tree was repotted this spring. We did a lot of root pruning, and the roots have grown down into the water reservoir that I have underneath the pot, and it's starting to fill the water reservoir with roots, so we're going to fix that also. We're going to start with giving the tree, pruning it to a profile for starters. Then we'll go in and start looking at the branch structure, removing branches we don't want, and that kind of thing. So let's start by pruning the profile. So again, we want to pick a height of the tree. So I'm going to go somewhere about here, and we're just going to give it a general haircut almost, just to get our nice rounded shape on the top. We're not going to be too fussy about where we're cutting it, but it's just to get the general shape back under control. When you're doing this profile pruning, the tree's going to get slightly larger every time you do this, and then occasionally you'll have to go in and prune it back hard into some of the older wood. And when I'm profile pruning, I'm getting a rounded shape to the top, and I'm also pruning it to an oval shape looking down on top of the tree. So any shoots that are sticking out really far on the sides, we're pruning off also. It's getting there now. Let's see how that looks. We're a little high here. I'm going to rotate it around so I can see the front. That looks pretty good. I'm happy with that. Do a little cleanup here. So the next thing we want to do is we want to go in and start looking at the actual branch structure. So again, we're going to come up top, and I'm looking for crossing branches, branches that are growing in towards the tree. So we'll come up top and I'll show you what I'm doing with that. So here we are up top, and on this branch, hopefully you can see that. On this branch we've got some branches growing in towards the trunk, so we're going to remove those. And we're just looking now. That branch is looking okay. Just going to prune this tip back a bit. And you can kind of see the oval shape that I'm looking for in the tree. I think I'm going to remove this branch here. It's kind of, we've got two branches here, and this one's kind of growing towards the inside, so I think I'll get rid of that entirely. And it'll leave a bit of a hole in the canopy at first, but it'll fill in with other foliage. We've got one branch here that's kind of crossing in front of another one, so I'm going to cut that one back. Branch here that's, well, first we'll get rid of this shoot in here. Shorten this one. In willows, it's important to get light to every part of the tree. Anything in the shade on a willow just tends to die back. Shorten this one a bit. So that's I think okay for now. Everything looks fairly good on it. So we're going to go back to the front view and have a look at it. So we're back at the front view of the tree, and we're going to look at stuff we don't need. I've got one branch growing down here at the base that I kind of want to integrate with the crown of the tree eventually. So we're going to let that kind of grow out. But we have a lot of suckers down lower also that they're kind of weak, and I don't think we need them for the design. So we're going to take those off. It's always nice to have backup branches on a willow in case one of the major branches dies back, but you don't want too many so it just looks a mess. We've got some branches here. We could get rid of some of these weaker ones, which will also shade out this branch we're trying to develop. We've got three back here I want to get rid of. Those were kind of growing all from this spot here. So I am going to keep like a backup branch up higher than this one, just in case it decided to die off, which it shouldn't because it's getting good light, but just in case. I'll take this one off, this one, that one, this one, and this one. So we do have a backup branch here. I'll just prune it off shorter, like that. And I'm going to directional prune this one so we're going in a good direction there. It'll kind of grow to fill the canopy out. I've got some big branches crossing here that are kind of shading out this branch that I want to grow. So this one's on the inside of a curve, so we don't want that one. This one will shorten. like that. I've got a few suckers in here I want to get rid of that are growing at the base of another branch. Don't need those. Branch here that I want to shorten, and also up here, like so. I'm going to take this shoot growing up here, I'm going to directional prune it, so I'm going to take it back to here. It's more of a horizontal branch. Yeah, I think it's getting close. I don't see too much more work to do. Maybe just clean up some of these tips, and so we're doing a bit of directional pruning. Just getting rid of some of the older leaves back here that are going a bit yellow. The next thing we wanted to do was lift it out of this water reservoir and prune off those roots that are growing in the water. We want our roots to grow in the pot, not out of the pot. So that's the reason we're doing it. We're gonna trim them off at the drainage hole. Okay, here we go. Let's lift this tree out. There's the roots. Wow, quite a few growing out of every drainage hole. Okay, so let's, how are we gonna do this? Let's tilt the tree like this. Move our water over here. And move all this here so you can see it. And we'll start trimming. Now this is just kind of a short-term fix because these roots will grow quite quickly again into the water reservoir under the tree. However, it's not blocking the drainage holes too badly. There we go. There's our mat of roots. There's the bottom of the pot now. So we can put the tree back in the water reservoir. And I think that'll do for this tree. We'll go on to our pruning our cutting from last year. So let's do that next. So here's the cutting of the old ancient weeping willow tree that we took last year. As you can see, I've been letting it grow quite tall and long, and it too is getting roots growing out of the pot into the water tray underneath. So it's quite pot bound also. It probably should be repotted, but we'll see. I don't know. I might leave it till next spring. Just keep the top pruned for now. So there's a few good things going on with this tree. We've got a lot of shoots coming out at the base of the tree, which will thicken our base up, so we'll get a nice wide flare at the base of the tree. We did get some dieback at the top. I think for now we are going to keep these branches near the bottom growing fairly vigorously. We're not going to prune them off because we want to get taper in this tree. So I'm just going to cut them back so they're not quite so long and they don't use quite as much water, because right now this tree, I fill this little water tray underneath probably twice a day. It uses all the water in it, so kind of hard to keep up with the watering on it. So that's the reason we're gonna trim back these lower branches a bit to kind of reduce the water intake required for this tree. And then the upper branches we're going to reduce quite a bit. So we're going to go in and reduce them quite far back. So I'm going to go into here, and here. And this is just for now. I may reduce it further later on. I'm going to use the bigger pruners. And I'm looking for outward facing branches. Well, there's one here we'll prune back to for now. There. And here. And then we'll come over here. Just branch back. We have one down lower here I can prune back to, so I'll do that. This one I've got a leaf down here, I could prune back to that. This deadwood, we have two choices. We could wait till the ambulance goes by, which I think we'll do. This deadwood on top, we have two choices. We can keep it as sort of a deadwood feature because a lot of willows do have dead parts on them. It's quite natural to see that. So it's not doing any harm, so I think we'll keep it on for now. Just gonna continue to prune up some of these branches to get it a little more compact. Let's take this one back a little bit more. And I'm going to remove these lower branches. They'll be sacrifice branches, so someday they'll be removed entirely. So I'm just going to clean up some of the lower branches off these sacrifice branches so they're not blocking light out from our main part of the tree. I think that looks pretty good. That'll do for now. So that's it for the willows today. Nigel Saunders for KW Bonsai.